here with us. Going to have a slight bit of delay. Partly to rearrange the champions, so we kind of have that all going on. Mostly so we have a little bit of delay on stream just to prevent any ghosting, because there is actually live. Other than that, there's no delay built into the server, unfortunately. So I kind of have to create my own delay, given that the stream doesn't have any delay on its own. So give me 1 quick second, we'll rearrange all these, everybody's happy, and then we'll get back into it very, very shortly. Is that top Elise? I think it is. Looks like it. There we go, everybody's matched up. Okay, so game underway. Last game here again of the evening, guys. Remember, it's a best of 2 format. We've had 2 matches tonight. We've already had the Taipei Snipers up against SKT1. And this is our last game here. The second game here between the Taipei Assassins and LGD. LGD from China on the left side for this game, the blue side here. We're going to watch Bug follow out of the base here. He is their jungler. He's going to be playing Jarvan for this game. Behind him you can see both Pyle and Tyrant. Pyle playing Sona, their support player. Tyrant, Orianna, their AP mid. Over here towards the top here, near blue buff center, their Elise player is going to be playing the top lane. Or is their top lane player going to be playing Elise for this game. And Victor, their AD carry. He's going to be playing on Ezreal. Surprise, it's a BB! MF going to do a little bit of damage there to Bug. Nice little hiding spot, actually. Got there very quickly with that strat as well. That's actually a really nifty use of that passive. And TPA get a very nice deep ward here. This is such a great ward if you can get it down. It's one of the harder wards to plant, because most teams defend that spot very aggressively. But if you can get it, you have so much vision. You get complete vision of... In fact, we'll toggle over real quick. Oh, other one. There we go. You get vision of this when they come through here. You get vision of this if the mid comes through here. You can almost not really spot people coming up this way. That's the only disadvantage. If anybody comes up this way, tries to gank from behind that buff, you can't see them. But other than that, you just get so much knowledge of where the jungler is going. And you can really time a lot of their things on your map based on where the jungler is, if you see him walk past that ward or not. And a ward here in red as well. So maybe going to be seeing some trickiness here from TPA. I don't see any saplings being put down with little balls. That's kind of interesting as well. He apparently did not sapling up this camp. He's got one there, but it's not really setting up. I guess maybe he ran out of time. But he's going to do Wolves Blue here, fairly standard. And then straight on into this blue buff here. I thought maybe they might want to do a quick Smiteless Blue and then take this red buff. Well, Bug's actually going to start on this side of the jungle. So TPA, again, they have perfect vision here on this side. They know exactly what Bug's up to. Going to be able to make their plans accordingly. But if they did want to steal it, that ship has sailed, unfortunately. As LGD have just secured their red buff now. You can see Maokai. Maybe that was his plan, because he did get a Smiteless Blue there. Going to go off into his red quickly, maybe go for a quick double buff gank. Go for the old faithful 3-minute gank. Like clockwork, as a player once described it to me. At 3 minutes, check your top lane. There's almost always going to be a jungler there. So, down the bottom here, it's going to be a Blitz MF versus Sona Ezreal. As noted in the last game, Sona does not particularly like Blitzcrank, mainly for that she's incredibly squishy, and if she gets grabbed, she's often very, very dead, with not a whole lot to say about it. However, if they can keep this lane intact, if Sona can stay safe, Ezreal's pretty safe from rocket grab for the most part, and they do plenty of good damage, plenty of good poke. Sona Ezreal, as I said, pretty much a classic lane at this point, very, very powerful. Kayle mid is where we're going to go next here. That's going to be Toys playing Kayle. He's got 23 AP already. So clearly has a fairly hefty investment in runes and or masteries there for that one. Gained an extra AP there as well. So, 2 level? Yes, I think he did. So I believe he would have some sort of AP per level going around, whether it's in the runes or masteries. Looks like Bug coming around now. So great so there from Tyrant with the command dissonance. There's the flag toss combo. Just gets the knockup and Little Balls over the top there as well. Tyrant actually takes a lot of damage there as Twisted Advance. And the Arcane Smash combo comes in. Little Ball's doing a great job defending his mid laner there. Tyrant now coming back into the mix as well. Good knock up there as well. Little Ball's taking a little bit too much damage. First blood there with Twisted Advance. A great play there. But Bug will pick it up there, and there's the trade. So both junglers with a kill. Maokai onto Orianna, and Jarvan cleaning up the tree. Very tricky move there with Twisted Advance by Maokai to make sure he got the first blood up. Very aggressive as well from Little Balls. But protects Kayle here, and this really is a trade up for Toys. Because he's going to be able to push his wave into the turret. Jarvan's not here. Not yet, anyway. He might be the one that receives the XP in the CS here as well. But this will get Kayle slightly up here in CS. And as you can see, Jarvan returns at the right time. So he's going to clean up as much as he can. Orianna now just returning to lane. But, you know, a trade there with a bit of extra first blood gold plus those minions that Kayle would have got up as well. That's a nice little win there for TPA early on. And now Little Ball's going to make his way known in the bottom lane. Trying to show some presence. Apparently my mouth is having trouble talking. That's not a good thing. In fact, that is the complete opposite as a Sharkcaster. But, I digress. We shall continue. Little Balls poked his way down the bottom, didn't quite find anything he liked, so decided to continue doing his jungle. And now Stanley in the top lane is fighting as Nidalee up against Elise. And this is a matchup I think probably favours Elise here. Lots of good bursts there from Senu. Stanley they use as the barrier as Elise comes in there with a Venomous Bite. Oh, she swapped forms. I think it's got Venomous Bite. I was going to check. And she swapped to human form and I got confused. Just in general, especially early on here before Nidalee hit 6. Elise has got a lot of good damage she can do. And she's very, very aggressive laner. She does a lot of good damage. Little Ball's now rotating up towards the top lane. Could actually spell trouble here for Senu. Stanley trying to bait him in here. And here he comes around the side. Senu tries to use the repel. Switches the spider form in time. Maybe not actually has to get away. Can't quite have anything to repel to. And we'll have to flash out of the way there as... So nice little escape there from Senu. Good aggression there from Little Balls though. Forces that flash out of the way. That's the thing about Elise. You have to make sure she's got nothing to repel to. Because if she's got no enemy to go to, she's got nowhere to go. And that was certainly the case there. So, Little Balls maybe could come around back again. Have another crack. See if he can't help Stanley a little bit more here in this lane. But that certainly put the pressure on you. You can see Elise is maybe not so eager of it being that far forward. In fact, Senu's going to recall completely. It's going to give Stanley a little bit more breathing room. Over in the mid though, Bug looking for a gank there on Kale, but Toys gets out of the way. Kind of interesting to see mid Kale. It's something I've seen for a while. But leveling up that Reckoning first. Does good damage, makes his other abilities do damage as well, of course. Not to mention a nice chunk of damage there with AP. I mean, if you look over the ratios here, Q's quite good. You can see 57 magic damage, it's 1-to-1 there with AP, with a bit of an AD ratio as well. Reckoning is actually AP scaling, I didn't know that. About 0.3, or not quite 0.3, a little bit higher than that, probably 0.4. Or around that mark. If anyone knows these exact numbers, by the way, feel free to shout them out. And the heal, of course, has a fairly low one as well, yeah, lower than the E. But, you know, still a nice little bit of utility. And Kale does a lot of burst damage. Kind of interested to see what Toys is going to build, though. Because, of course, Kale kind of wants a bit of attack speed as well, just to be able to auto-attack. So maybe we're going to see Ginsu's Rageblade. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Looks like Little Balls around the side coming in there as well. Tyrant in a whole host of trouble now. Intervention, they're coming out from Kale. Just making sure that nothing went wrong. Bug getting chased down a bit there as well, but we'll get out very, very safely. But sadly, the same cannot be said for Orianna. He was currently lying. There she is, over there. Very much dead. But she'll be back soon. But right now, Little Ball's doing a great job here, just kind of babysitting Kale a bit in mid. And it's worked out so far, and I am very afraid of what Kale and Maokai can do in terms of initiation. Especially if they're looking at tower dive. The intervention could prove quite creative for any ganks that TPA wanted to pull off here. And there's blue buff going to Toys, who immediately recalls. Wants to finish up something. He's got a Fiendish Codex, actually. Kind of curious to see what he goes for, if it is just going to be a Fiend's. No, never mind. I said Kale might need some attack speed, and here we are. There's a Stinger. As Cataclysm goes up there for Bug. Dinter grabs her, actually tries to, I think, delay Jarvan from doing any more damage, but the rest of LGD's bottom lane comes in there as well. And BB is left for dead there by Blitzcrank, who sadly has nothing else to do. Bullet time was used there by BB, but is all for naught pretty much. As Dinter managed to escape. Oh, was actually trying to execute himself here. Juice Rider tried to look for him, but he's dead. Oh, Bug picks up the kill though. Dinter did not wait long enough there, unfortunately. So Jarvan will get credit for that when all said and done. I mean, kudos to Blitz, he got out of the way. At least he didn't give the kill to Ezreal, but certainly would have preferred to just get executed there. But yeah, that is a Nash's Tooth on the way there for Kale. That is a Stinger. And this is something I've heard is quite good. But I haven't seen it before. And I think chat is saying, confirming the build that I thought was going to happen. And I think it is going to be Nash's into Leandro's Torment. And when you think about the augmented damage that Reckoning gives you, with how much damage Leandro's Torment does, the fact that E does magic damage, and you have lots of course, those cooldowns and the attack speed from Nash's, and I think even a bit of ability power as well, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, we'll check Stinger right now. Down the bottom we have problems. Piles in a whole herd of pain. There's the Arcane Smash. Catches there with a tip. Great grab at Victor. Glitches it out there. Great timing there on the Arcane Shift. able to get himself well and truly out of trouble there. And that's the thing, that's why Blitzcranks don't like the matchup here against Ezreal. Because if you're a good Ezreal, you know what you're doing, you can just immediately get out of pretty much any rocket grab there. Dinta had him there, literally had him in his fist, and Ezreal was still able to get out of the way. TPA though, not too phased. Going to take this out as well. Stanley actually up in trouble in the top lane here. Getting dive potential here by Elise, but will flash out of trouble. Bug there, looked there to complete the tower dive, but Stanley slippery as anything. He is certainly one of the harder Nidalee players to catch. Nidalee herself, very slippery. Stanley, he's greased up. He is so hard to catch on Nidalee. Gets out of trouble there. Hex Drinker now up for him as well. Chalice of Harmony plus Hex Drinker. So I think it's going to be the Stanley special, which I'm trying to remember. I remember the Chalice part. I don't remember the rest of the build, but I think it was more AD focused. Oh man, this makes me want to go back and watch Season 2 now. Revisit some of Stanley's heroic times as Nidalee. But we don't have time for that right now. We have Stanley's Nidalee live right now, and we're going to enjoy it. But yeah, going back to Kel, that build really strong. You can kind of see how all those parts work together. The double damage from Liandry's Torment proc with the slow. The fact that Reckoning gives you augmented damage. And the slow, of course, to proc Liandry's Torment. Plus the general AP, plus attack speed and cooldown that the Nash's gives you. So kind of a nice little package. It's nice to see that some champions that didn't really see any play, except in very niche situations, like Chaos will play against Darius as a counter. That was pretty much it in Season 2. As Stanley here takes a little bit of damage in top, just poking Elise back and forth. The Hex String is going to make it a little bit easier here for him to lane. I think Stanley will take a little bit more control of this lane. Kind of nice that the Chalice actually also gives us a bit of magic resist as well. I think he'd probably build it regardless of the matchup. But getting a little bit of extra value here up against Elise. And there's Nash's 2 completed, and Berserker Greaves as well. So Toys has got quite a bit of auto damage coming in. Interestingly, not leveling the Reckoning. Opting for that last, wants the utility of the W instead. That heal and that move speed. Help himself a little bit more in lane, and more importantly, synergizes very nicely with Maokai. And Blitzcrank as well if you're trying to catch somebody. I mean, the heal part's nice, but the move speed is pretty nippy. You move pretty quickly when that gets on you. Not for very long, mind you. But long enough, usually. So, back down to the bottom lane. CSing as normal, it's just Farmville being played right now by these two. Crescendo actually coming out there, Bug in a prime position here for the gank, and BB again gets exploded. Now Dinta gets out of the Cataclysm with a flash, but there's the flash forward as well. Victor trying to get the double kill, and he does get it there. Little Balls is now like, oh goodness, what do I do? I have Toys with me. That's not enough though, and we're just going to leave now. Poor Toys, they're not there in time to save any of his teammates. Little Balls, he was in position, but Bug was already in place there by the time that gank happened. The trap was sprung, and BB again gets exploded. 2 deaths to his name currently. 3-0 again for Ezreal. So looking good. I mean, last game for LGD there, Ezreal was 5-0. And then 9-0-1. That was, things were all looking very comfortable for them. But as we've noted, TPA, you don't want to count him out. That turret down the bottom is going to even the gold back up slightly in LGD's favour. Sadly, mid turret did not get taken out there. Little Balls and Toys, they did what they could. But Kale's just getting scarier and scarier. And we'll see if it is going to be that Leandro's build. I imagine it probably is. From what I've heard of AP Kale, it seems to be the go-to build. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see just how good it is here. I mean, if it's something Toys is doing, it's probably something worth considering. Not that this hasn't been done by players that are just as good as Toys. Just to be clear. Well, this is certainly the first time I have seen this. It's nice to kind of get it in a tournament setting as well. By a team that, you know what, has a decent AP carry player. I don't mind this Toys guy. It's fun to watch. Except mid turret will go down here. Toys just relentless here. That is one nice thing about Kale, actually. She's a very good aggressive laner. Stanley in a little bit of trouble in the top lane. But as always, gets himself out of the way. Don't know what that was. Some sort of crazy pounce. But Stanley will be okay. As he almost always is. In fact, I think I'm going to be very sad if I have to cast Stanley dying in this game. I'll try and make it as dramatic as possible. But if he does on Nidalee, I feel like something has gone wrong. And there's Mid-Tar going down. Damage out as well there onto Bug. This could be a very dead job, and it is. And Double Buff's now up for Toys. He's like, thanks mate, I'll collect that red buff. And now down the bottom, Little Balls is in there. Victor gets power fisted there as BB picks up that kill. And Pyle, goodbye Sona. I think you are very, very dead at this point. Pyle will try and get out of the way. The Arcane Smash did just miss. No, they give it up. TPA! They give up the chase on a Sona, and Pile, cheeky as anything, just comes back in and throws out the Q. I'm still here. What's up, guys? I'm gonna protect my tower. They just gave up on Sona. I am quite surprised by that. Ooh, maybe it was a trap. Dinter. Oh, do it. Do it. Hook! There it is! Great hook there in the pile! And a flash out there from Sona. Immediately ends all the fun. The good use of the hook there from Dinter. Wastes a very long summon spell there from Sona. Who will manage to stay alive as a result. BB as always continues to farm down here in the bottom lane. FCU will be coming back with a Bloodthirster, by the way. So Misfortune probably want to do a bit of shopping of her own. Trying to even back up the items. In fact, Jarvan's presence down here in bottom lane is probably a nice trigger for them to get there. Get all the way out here. Ooh, Cataclysm there. We'll hit onto Dinter. There's the silence coming out, but pretty much delays the inevitable. Just gives MF a little bit more time to get away. And that's Victor with yet another kill. 4-1-0 now on Ezreal. Again, just collecting those kills like it's his job, and it kind of is. I guess the question is, can LGD do more this time? Can they go further? We shall see. They looked good in the early game last game. They look pretty good in the early game here.
Blue team's turret.
There's top turret coming down. Stanley, relentless as anything on Italy. Pushes it out. And Elise just has not really been able to find traction. He does have Leandri's Torment up now. And looks like LGD are taking this time to go for Dragon as well. Knowing that Stanley's still in top lane. And that's nicely timed there for LGD. They picked it up with pretty much no concern at all. TPA kind of knew what was going on, but weren't there in time to stop it. So good timing on that Dragon there from them. Little balls again, the double Giant's Belt. All these Giant's Belts coming out tonight. Wonder what it is. Tyrant there. Getting initiated hit. Great ult there. Little balls wants to go in. Actually twisted advance on the bug, and there's the intervention coming out. Toys will still take a little bit of damage from True Shot Barrage. Blitzcrank coming in for support as well, but Jarvan all the way out of there, and Tyrant on the retreat there as well. So sadly no kills are able to be confirmed from TPA. I'll have to settle just for a little bit of damage there. Seems like, again, Little Balls is very much attached to his Giant's Belts. Much like, maybe this is a strat. Maybe this is the Taipei tech. I just love the Giant's Belts. Keep her out for Ruby Crystals, folks. Stanley here in the top lane, baiting Sion very, very nicely. The Hex Trigger procs, that's gonna give him just enough time there for Twisted Advance. The spear comes out, Repel there. Stanley could have maybe mispositioned, but no! He is Stanley! He never dies! Pounces his way out of the way there. Great response there from Little Balls. And of course he wasn't gonna die. Why did I even suggest it? Stanley lives again. To fight another day. Looks like bottom lane. BB here taking a bit of damage. Dinter as well. Poke there. Victor come out. Mystic Shot. Damage. Cataclysm there from Jarvan. Victor picks up Dinter, but MF he just flashes out of the way. So see you later, Blitz. I'm sorry, Dinter. I'm sorry you have to die. But this is what you get when you sign up to play support for me. If I'm farming because my bottom tower's down and I'm slightly overextended, you're the one that gets to die. And really, this bottom tower is causing a lot of problems here for TPA. There's just no real room for MF to farm comfortably. And sure, she's keeping reasonably even on farm, but they're just feeding kills slowly. So LGD have set up a little, like a small little farm here, down in the bottom lane. And they're reaping the harvest every time it comes down. Looks like recalls from both members of the bottom lane here from LGD. True Shot Barrage looking for Stanley! Stanley, no! Don't do it! That's a horrible way to go! He does get hit! But plenty of magic resist there. Why was I worried? I wasn't worried. I just do it to be more dramatic. Stanley lives again. Nice True Shot Barrage from Ezreal, actually. I didn't think that was going to hit, but that Negatron Click and Hextrigger plus Chalice of Harmony makes it quite difficult for that two-shot Barrage to do more than just a little bit of damage there. Just a scratch onto Italy. Little Balls is looking to try and steal something away here. Instead, finds himself in a whole host of trouble. Does flash out of the way. Grab there under pile. Could be a problem and knock up as well coming in. But here comes Toys for reinforcements. Turns around Reckoning. So much damage onto Bug. Destroys him. And Toys with the double blast is a filthy, filthy man. There's intervention there. You always have to know when you're fighting Kale. When will she use the ultimate? And TPA wisely disengaged once that cooldown's been used. Ginsu's Rageblade was the buy by Toys, by the way. I'm still hoping we see Leandri's Torment, but I love me a Ginsu's Rageblade. And it synergizes so well with Kale. Just everything about that item screams Kale. Even the new passive that essentially puts you into a rage state when you get below a certain amount of health is great synergy with intervention. And Toys, you saw he just shredded Bug. Absolutely obliterated him. This is something that's just really exciting. Again, something I've heard of but haven't seen yet. It's great to see in a game of this caliber here. TPA. You know, they are up a game. They could opt to just play safe here and try and collect their 3 points, but you know, they're confident here in this Kale. And it's nice to see Blue Buff still here as well from TPA. Always got to watch out for the sneaky blitz still. Oh, and Italy's like, oh wow, did that go to Stanley? I think it did. Yeah, it did. Nice setup there from TPA. Giving blue to Italy. Stanley, yeah, not even close. Just pounces out of the way of Cocoon. Continuing to be a nuisance here in top. This is what he was known for when he played it at Season 2. Apparently he still knows how to play Italy. Who knows? Trouble here in the jungle. Bug is still again taking damage as Toys kills him for a second time in a row. A killing spree now for Kale as well, currently 3-0-2. It looks like top lane Elise goes down as well to Stanley 1v1. The first and hopefully only kill I miss of the night. And that's Stanley's glorious 1v1. And really, I mean, Elise was looking decent early, but Elise just slowly but surely got ahead here. Stanley could be in trouble. There's the command. Oh my goodness, he dodged the command shockwave. Pounce is just too strong. Stanley, he's the untouchable man. I mean, really, LGD at least, if nothing else. Oh, nice. Twisted advance there from Little Balls. But an even better arcane shift there from Victor. Manages to root himself and leave Maokai. Sorry, manages to arcane shift and leave Maokai behind, despite being rooted at the end of that move. Again, Victor really knows when to use this arcane shift. Ezreal's just such a slippery champion. So frustrating to initiate on sometimes. And Victor knows exactly what's going on in that department. Stanley again. Maybe looking for more 1v1 action. TPA very aggressively in the enemy jungle here. They've kind of been in the red side of the jungle for quite a while, in fact. And it's that 3-1 in turrets that's really giving them all this space. I mean, the kills are reasonably even on the scoreboard, as you can see. 9-7 right now. TPA with a slight advantage there. Looks like Senu, he wants to get aggressive here. Stanley pounces out of the way. Does not want any of that. And looks like all the distraction here is just going to give TPA, you know what? We're going to get a dragon. Completely uncontested there from LGD. And LGD just look completely scattered in this game, and it's not even that bad for them. It's just that TPA picked a strategy, they gave Stanley and Italy, and they're executing perfectly. I mean, Italy is a great champion to split push with, and that's exactly what they're letting Stanley do here. He actually could be in trouble. Stanley, there's a repel. Hexdrinker will proc. Senu diving onto him, but that pounce just so frustrating. And Stanley, don't even need to say it, folks. Stanley lives again. And poor Elise just can't quite find a foothold here. Seems to get so close to killing this Nidalee. But no, Nidalee's job continues. Continues to be a nuisance in the top lane. I think we'll finally recall here after taking out these double golems. See what he goes for from there. But I mean, whatever Nidalee goes and buys, that's not going to make it any easier for Elise, who's only just being able to keep this tier 2 turret in a reasonable shape, which has only 500 health left as I say that. Spirit Visage finished up now for Stanley. Cooldown boots. And looks like he went back for something else. Maybe not? Okay, Glacial Shroud finished up there as well. So I had to wait for a bit of extra gold. And Tank and Italy ahoy! It is Bruiser Italy time, ladies and gentlemen. This is no AP build. We're not going to be seeing the super poke spears, unfortunately. What we are going to see is a very, very mobile, very deadly, incredibly good Bruiser, who's just going to wreck back lines if Stanley gets there. And you know, Stanley's shown a lot of prowess in that area. He absolutely assassinated the right targets in the last game on Kha'Zix. And I think a lot of his Nidalee play probably carried over there in that game. As I said, TPA are a very experienced team. They know what they need to do as 5. That's part of the reason they managed to win such a long, drawn-out game. It was very, very close there in Game 1. And as it is TPA, again, so no real signs of slowing down. Stanley here could potentially get caught as Bug is setting up, but it's a level 16 Nidalee. to a level 10 Jarvan. Buggy's gonna find it there. Stanley does check the bush, but not really for naught. Great juke there of the flag toss combo from Stanley. Just swagger everywhere as Kale picks up a kill there onto Orianna. I'm sorry, I was too busy watching Stanley. My sincerest apologies, everybody. So Ezreal coming in as well. That's not a good place to be, my good friend. Victor actually turns on a little balls though. No one else really available, but Toy's just ripping through people right now. There's Haunting guys, so I expect we're going to see Leandra's Torment fairly soon out of Kale. And that's going to be a lot of damage. Crescendo there will just miss True Chop Barrage in there as well, which will also miss, unfortunately.
Blue team's turret.
And Sona there wanted to make something happen as top tower goes down. Stanley's relentless pushing finally gets himself what he wanted, and that was that tower. Bottom tower going to go down here as well. As TPA split pushing continues, and as I said, they're not really in a hurry this game. Just like in the end of the last game, they're going to take things slowly. Going to ensure they win, and why not? There's a big difference between 1 and 3 points. And you only get 2 games no matter what happens. Which really, when you think about it, is not a whole lot of time to adapt. And as I said, it sucks to lose the first one. So if you get completely owned by some specific champion or strategy or something you just didn't think of, you really have to make up for it in game 2, and you've already lost something as a result. Mito going to go down here as well. Little Balls picks that one up for his team. And just turret after turret falling. As I said, it was 3-1 in turrets earlier on. And LGD just seemed pinned in their side of the map. Absolutely pinned to their base, it almost felt like. Now the turret score is 6-1. And it's not going to get any easier. Nidalee going to get stronger. TPA is getting stronger here as well. They've actually cut themselves up to 8,000 gold. As Victor's actually getting chased down here. That's a very speedy Mako with those boots of mobility coming in. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch us. I don't know if it really matters that much anymore. Oh, nice juke from Victor. Very nice. Very, very nice. Well played, Ezreal. Well played. Just casually walks his way out. And TPA's like, where'd he go? What is this? And they are sad. Into with Oracles now, just scouting out for any possible wards that might be in the area. Again, when you have map control, you really want to keep it, and Oracles goes a long way into ensuring that you have all the tools you need. Stanley, no! Stanley, where are you? Oh, he died. I missed the death of Stanley, and he actually died. I'm so sad. I almost want to rewind. I don't know what to say. It's getting late. We missed things. But the hero has fallen. Stanley did finally die, so if anybody was taking that bet, I apologize. I'm trying not to be so biased. It's just such a good storyline. He's playing Italy. I'll stop. Probably having too much fun. That happens sometimes. This job's pretty awesome. Victor now. Okay, just out of the way. Again, does not really want to be on toys here. Especially with BB close behind. Leandra's Torment now complete for Kale as well. And we'll try and stay awake in this last game here. There's only one left. We've missed more kills this game than any other game. We'll try not to miss any more. I do apologize. And I'm so sad that Stanley died. Hopefully he does again so I can do what I said and make it epic. I did promise you that. Sunfire came up for release now as well, so doing a slightly tanky here for Senu. We do see a very assassin-oriented Elise builds, but I think you get a lot of variety. Her kit's really interesting and very versatile. So I think you can do a lot of work with many different builds. And I think AP Bruiser is kind of a cool niche that Elise can fill that not a whole lot of other champions can. Twisted Advance all the way to home. As Senu there just gets pinned down by the tree. Intervention there as Toys is just ripping through people here as well. Cataclysm comes out, Dinta taking quite a bit of damage. BB doing plenty of damage there as well as Senu does get taken out. Great positioning here for TPA. Good bullet time there for BB. And LGD are on the wrong side of the map. You are not in Kansas anymore, LGD. There's power going down. Victor picks up one kill there. And Orianna actually gets the kill story onto Maokai. Victor again with a nice juke. They're going over the top. But there's the kill from Stanley onto Orianna. A double kill for him. And Victor will get caught here. Toys obliterates him. Absolutely destroys him with AP Kale. And that's going to be almost the ace there. Bug, I think, just came back up in time to prevent that from happening. Looks like we're going to see a very fast Baron attempt here from TPA. And I'm actually curious to see, how does Kale's damage work? No, you cannot shred Baron anymore. Sad. Those are the best strategies. But still, they got plenty of Baron damage here, that's for sure. Between Kale, MF, and hey, even Italy, especially with the attack speed boost with the heal. The Primal Surge. It's going to be a pretty easy Baron there, even without Maokai, actually. Without their smite, Stanley pounces over. Chasing after Bug, but doesn't get it. Ooh, I like this, actually. I was going to comment of that. I found it weird that Stanley didn't have a Mallet or a Fade, but actually it was a Frost Fist instead. Also known as the Iceborne Gauntlet. Procs on single target abilities? Or abilities? No, after using any ability, it has a Spellblade passive. Much like Trinity Force and Lichbane. And that's it. I mean, anyone with a lot of abilities you can trigger. A Spellblade item is great. It really benefits being able to chase down targets. And of course, the Iceborne Gauntlet effect, the fact that it's an AoE, gives you a lot of teamfight control that you don't normally have on champions that have Trinity Force type items. So I really like this here on Stanley. And now it is almost impossible to get away from Italy. Between Pounce and the slow proc there on the Frost Iceborne Gauntlet, if Stanley catches somebody, they're probably going to die. And that's really one of the things with Bruce and Italy in particular. Maka initiating again. There's a crescendo actually onto Toys, who they're trying to take down. Did he activate Surge? It looked like it, but I don't think so. Pilot almost getting grabbed, but Stanley picks up Oriana there. Bug goes down there as well. Sorry, that wasn't Surge. I think that was the Gitsy's Rage Blade proc. That must have been what that was. I haven't seen the animation yet. I think that might have been it, and it sounds like LGD don't really want any more of this. There it is. Good game, well played. TPA slightly shorter than their last game, and it seems like it was all but inevitable there. TPA probably had 10 more minutes to play of that game, but LGD, respectfully bow out there and decide that, you know what, we don't want to fight for this one point anymore. You guys can have it. Take the full 3 points. And both TPA teams with very, very convincing results here on the first day of Gigabyte StarsWar Season 2. 2-0 for TPS, 2-0 for TPA. And yes, I think it was the Rage Blade. Hence the "is that even Surge" comment. Thanks to the chat. Surge apparently isn't even in the game anymore. How embarrassing. Maybe I should bring it back. I miss Surge. I once saw Singe with Surge. It was very interesting. But Rage Blade's pretty awesome. Happy to see that coming. Oh man, wow. As you can probably tell by the quality of my voice right now, that was quite a series for between both these teams, actually. Big ups again to all the teams that played tonight. I guess condolences to both LGD and SKT1. They sadly walk away with 0 points here for this first night of the Gigabyte StarsWar League Season 2. And it will be back next Tuesday, in fact, with continued coverage here of this particular event. I'm going to switch back over to the music channel. There it is. And I'll bring up chat real swiftly, so I can see what's going on here in Twitch chat land. What about losing my voice more that just needs more water? And I could